Ready, go.
DanGryder, probable cause, December 7th, 2025. A date that will live in infamy.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
Yes, it was a date that will live in infamy. 84 years ago today, Pearl Harbor. Seems like we don't really give that date very much attention anymore. Back in the day, this was a huge deal in World War II and the setup for World War II and the victory that the United States would eventually realize the battles that we were facing in all the theaters all at the same time, and we overcame. Today's December 7th. 341 days have elapsed in the year 2025. The purpose of this channel, AQP for General Aviation, trying to lower the general aviation fatal accident rate. I can tell you why we're doing it. It's because we're paying more attention and we're learning how not to kill ourselves out there in airplanes. I am not exactly quite so fond of AOPA and their new safety director that is telling you that he is not even sure why the rate is going down.
So this is a huge success story. We're down by half or more than half. And we are focused in the Air Safety Institute on the fatal accident rate for obvious reasons. But that's a big success story. We're doing something right. The other side of that is I wish we knew exactly what we were doing to drive the rate down because we would do more of it. We don't know.
So far for the year 2025, we've had 139 general aviation fatal accidents. That means we have only 5 more spaces remaining between now and the end of the year, the conclusion, New Year's Eve of 2025, to hit our magic 12.0 for the year. That's because 12 per month for 12 months is 144. 139 is where we're at. If we have 5 more for the year, we'll end up at 144, which is 12.0 for the year. Will we make it? Boy, I don't know. It's looking crazy close. I'm going to go over some of the recent fatals, the general aviation fatals, the whole thrust of everything we're trying to do here. I've been on this quest for many, many years. We have seen a steady decline in general aviation fatals. I think we're having more accidents and more incidents, but we're converting those would-be accidents and incidences into non-fatals. We can replace the airplane and we can repair the dirt where you hit. We cannot replace you, the human being that was lost in that accident. I want you to take your accident, your incident, your event that occurs to you in flight and convert it over to a non-fatal. And we're going to get into that. Tonight's video is a little bit long, mostly because I got to include this interview at the very, very end of this. I ended up in a boxing match with a hater, a YouTube hater that approached me and wanted to spar over DMMS versus AOA, and I took him on. I'm going to put that video at the very, very end, so if you don't want to watch that, that's at the very, very end. If you do want to watch, it's not a super long interview. I could use your help on this. I want you to watch the interview, listen to what he says, and listen to what I say. I'm trying to lower the general aviation fatal accident rate. 42% of our general aviation fatals have to do with loss of speed awareness. Day VFR in the traffic pattern, we're killing ourselves due to a lack of speed awareness, a lack of energy awareness. We're getting uncoordinated, too slow, pulling, turning. We're doing all the wrong things. Nothing wrong with the airplane, nothing wrong with the engine. We're stalling and spinning in the traffic pattern. It's a speed awareness thing. The airlines solved this a long time ago with a defined minimum maneuvering speed. They publish it, bug, brief, fly, and honor the min maneuvering for each lift configuration that you have. Why we can't do that for general aviation today? Fast, cheap, easy. Bug it. Stay 30% away from your stall at all times. Leave that 30% buffer. I'm going to leave that interview at the very, very end. It's like a presidential debate. I want you to score it. I want you to tell me in the live chat or in the comments who won, whose point do you agree with, who you disagree with. Put your comment in there. This is at the very, very end. My respects and appreciation to Jim, who agreed to do a Zoom call with Dan, which is always dangerous. He did a Zoom call with Dan, a very nice guy. I hope that Jim and I can be fast friends forever. There will be a time where I'll take Jim to dinner. I appreciate the fact that he's willing to discuss this on video, knowing full well it's a recorded Zoom call, and I'm going to attempt to throw everything I can at him, and it's all because of his article that he wrote. DMMS is for dimwits. This is where it started, and that video is at the end. A couple other items of housekeeping here before I jump into tonight's accident data. On December 14th, which is next Friday, Dylan and I will be at Raleigh-Durham RDU International Signature Aviation between noon and 3 p.m. We're going to be up there. It's our holiday thing. I use that particular FBO for a lot of stuff on the East Coast. Signature Raleigh-Durham is one of my favorites. We're doing a special Christmas open house, a little gift for the employees, ramp workers, CSR people at Signature. I'll be there if you'd like to stop in. We got free food, some soft drinks, and it's just a social. If you fly in or drive in and want to come see us at Signature Raleigh-Durham on Friday, December 14th, I'll have free hats. I said free. I don't sell merch. I don't have anything. I don't have a merch store. I will have some hats up there if you'd like to come and see me and shake hands and say hi. I'd love to get a picture with you and hand you a free hat if you'd like to come and see us. It's our opportunity to say thank you to Signature at Raleigh-Durham for some excellent customer service in all the operations that we've been doing over the last year or so up there on the East Coast. We've used that FBO quite extensively, and I appreciate Signature Raleigh-Durham. As of tomorrow, there's only 23 days of December remaining, only 23 days of the year 2025 remaining. You know, last night we had an opportunity to go to the UGA Alabama tailgate party. I didn't get to go to the game because I was too cheap to buy tickets, but I did get invited. My friend David Upton invited me to go to the Alabama tailgate party. Now, this is kind of weird because we are hardcore Georgia UGA people, and now I'm inside the Alabama tailgate party with all the Alabama people trying to pretend like a Roll Tide fan inside here. Here I am with David's wife. I spent more time talking to her than I did David. David is one crazy good pilot over in Birmingham, and I have appreciated our friendship over the years. I did have a chance to make one funny little video before I left the Alabama tailgate party.
Stuck at this reception inside here. They got all this food and all these people here. The only thing I can figure is this is a grief support group for Alabama. These people are already grieving their loss that they're about to happen. UGA versus Alabama. This is grief. This is grief support. All these Alabama people are here to eat food in anticipation of the loss. This is a grief support group.
Oh, he's going to kill me. I'm going to talk about the general aviation accidents. I got 5 that I'm going to talk about here. Most recently, that are on our list here. This is on the DTSB website. They're going to start with one that's not quite on the list here recently. This was November 10th, the King Air, the B-100 down in Florida. And then I'm going to conclude by talking about the recent ones. And I've got some special information to include on the 172 crash, the tragic crash that killed the female CFI and the male student building time over Lake Pontchartrain in Louisiana. And then most recently, Friday, the helicopter, the Hughes 369D crash in Oklahoma, doing power line work for the state of Oklahoma out there. I'll include all of that when we get to it in just a second. Welcome. I'm glad to have you with us here. It is Sunday evening. You are watching Probable Cause. I'm glad to have you with us in the live chat. Just like normal, make sure you say hi in the live chat, where you're checking in from. That's always good. Let's get started.
Chairman, while it's not as much money as you would have requested this week, we're expected to pass the appropriation bill that funds NTSB, and it's an 8.2% increase, which is significantly higher than most other agencies within our capabilities of a budget that is less spending this year than last.
I strongly want, I want to just say thank you. It is really appreciated.
Real quick, before we get to the accident data, we have our conference coming up. That's in Florida. We are currently sold out. We are at our quota. We had both a minimum and a maximum for our conference. We're not conference people. This is our first one, so we had a minimum, a break even to get this thing done, and we're currently there. I got a quick interview with our friend Dr. Howard is going to explain what his role is in the DTSB, the General Aviation Safety Summit, January 2, 3, and 4. Here's my quick interview with Dr. Howard. Well, here's an interesting Sunday night. It's not very often that I get to interview and specifically grill a medical doctor. Me being a doctor myself, I can appreciate that. How are you today, Dr. Howard Epstein?
I'm doing fine. And as far as the grilling, medium rare, please.
Well, you take the grillings well. Wanted to very quickly introduce you. You're a retired doctor. You're what kind of an airplane are you flying currently?
Yeah, I've been flying for the last 25 years, Beechcraft Bonanza A36.
Perfect. And you're kind of an AQP guy. You and I became familiar with each other and became friends. Today, you're wearing a very, very specific hat, actually two hats that is critically important to me. What are those two hats?
Well, the first hat is that I'm one of the founding board members of DTSB Inc., which is the not-for-profit arm of DTSB that provides funding for all your educational efforts. And the second hat that I'm wearing today is as the conference coordinator for the 2026 DTSB General Aviation Safety Summit.
That's perfect. And Howard, I have to tell you, as much as I give you a hard time, and I'm going to give you a hard time, I need you, brother. You know why I need you is because you've got the capability to do all this communication with all these people. Think about it. We have asked them to send DTSB money in advance that covers their hotel, their reservation, their food, the conference, the educational conference. I have to have a person with a name and a cell number that they can talk to directly about their reservations. And brother, you have been doing all of that for me.
You know, Dan, it's been a pleasure because I know this is going to be an absolutely fantastic summit from a lot of aspects. First of all, it's going to be educational, and that's really important. But also, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be very social, and people are going to be able to meet a lot of fellow aviation interested people. And yes, I'm available by my cell phone 24/7. And our goal is to make this a totally enjoyable, seamless experience for all of our participants.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, Howard, of all the super qualified people that we have that are presenting and attendance, everybody, we have nobody on the payroll. Even the people that are presenting are paying their own way to attend. Nobody's getting paid to present or to attend. Conversely, each person, myself included, and you, we're each paying our fair share in order to get to attend on this. Totally different. We don't have anybody on the payroll, especially you, as many hats and other functions as you're doing. You're a volunteer and you're just trying to help with this problem. And Howard, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that because it's critical.
It's absolutely a privilege for me. And, we've known each other for 3 years. And, we got involved after having watched your YouTube channel for a while. I experienced an in-flight emergency and I got a hold of you and said, man, having listened to you and knowing what to have done is why we're here helping you with the conference today.
I think it's going to be great. Also of note, at the conference, I will be offering free medical advice to anyone that wants it. My medical credential is not quite as stout as yours, and I didn't get some of the fine training that you did, but I will be offering medical advice to anybody that's there, along with my banjo and my band and the rest of the people we have there. I mean, what can go wrong?
Well, we're going to make sure nothing goes wrong because we're working closely with the hotel. And, the price that everyone is paying is exactly what the cost is, as far as getting there and having the venue. And like you said, we're here to educate people and have a good time.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. Well, I appreciate Howard. I just wanted people to know that there is a face and a name, an actual medical doctor with a stethoscope that knows what he's doing, who is, Howard, you've retired, you got a little bit of extra free time on your hands, and you've graciously donated a tremendous amount of your abilities and time to helping us coordinate this and put this all together, and specifically work with the hotel to make sure this is our first one, Howard. We're not conference people. You and me, we don't know anything about putting on a conference. but I think the people that participate and attend this are going to have a fantastic time. I think we've got everything totally taken care of.
I totally agree.
I appreciate it. I'm going to jump off here, but I'm going to put this on tonight's video, and you'll get your chance to meet the doctor himself. Also, you get a chance to meet Howard as well.
Yes, the doctor wearing the DTSB hat and the doctor that has no hat on.
That's right. Okay, thanks again, Howard.
Take care.
I'm going to show you real quick on the screen here. This is our program. In the comment section for this video, the very first comment, the pinned comment, is a link you can click on to see the schedule for the conference. We have some unbelievably highly qualified participants and presenters at this thing. This is 3 full days of presentations, music, 2 banquets, a banquet Friday night, Saturday night. It's all inclusive. That price includes your room, your food, alcohol, 2 banquets, and all the presentations. It's all inclusive. You don't need to buy anything else. It's totally taken care of. We appreciate that. Here's one quick interview with Dr. Bouncing Bobby Briggs, a retired FedEx guy from Memphis, Tennessee, who is the most credentialed pilot in the world. On a call today with one of my personal pilot heroes, Dr. Bouncing Bobby Briggs from Memphis, Tennessee. How are you today, Bobby?
I'm feeling great, Dan. Thank you for having me this evening.
I appreciate it. This is going to be very, very quick, but you hold a special place to me. You are, in my opinion, the world's most qualified pilot, not only in terms of number of hours, but in terms of your credentials and ratings. How many type ratings do you have on your pilot certificate?
There are 111 as of today.
111 type ratings. So you've flown it all. And the categories, you're not only single and multi-engine, you're seaplane, rotorcraft. Tell me the categories that you're qualified in.
Well, how about this? Most everything in the normal, if you will, the non-sport things, etc. Everything but powered lift. For some reason, the military and the civil aviation people have not yet certified a powered lift vehicle for me to do yet. Other than that, most that are part 107.
Yeah, so you're talking about rotorcraft, glider, single engine C, multi-engine C. You've pretty much got it all, and you've spent a lifetime chasing these careers. You flew as a pilot. Who was your box carrying career with?
Well, my love of my life was Flying Tigers, starting in 1978, and they merged into Federal Express in 1989.
Yeah, so you've flown a lot of packages, and you are the reason that some of my FedEx packages probably did not get through, is the way I'm figured.
It's probably all my fault. I'm sure it is.
I appreciate you jumping on here for just a second. The point is, we're going to see you down in Orlando at our conference, and you're one of our presenters. Tell me what we're going to be talking about. I got a long laundry list of extremely qualified people presenting at our first annual General Aviation Safety Summit. What's Captain Bobby Briggs talking about down there?
Well, you have me on the program 2 times at least at this particular time, Dan. Of course, that's subject to your changing, of course, and coming to a reality check that I may not be the best qualified person to speak. But on Friday, actually, one of the first speakers to kick things off between 2 and 3 o'clock, we're going to be talking about 2 subjects. One that I have actually both of them I have personal in-depth experience in, and that's talking about basic med, the program, how it started, how it's transgressed, how it's expanded, what things you can and can't do, and the ins and outs and the negatives and the positives of basic med. Since our group is likely going to be considering or already occupying a basic med designation, probably. Second one is going to be, it's very near and dear to my heart, and that's compassion flying. Angel flights, flying cause, veterans, folks, etc. And the ins and outs of those programs, besides the moral and the mental, hospitable things of doing that, but also some of the rewards that can be had if you play your cards right, as far as the IRS goes, and deductions and discounts and rebates that could actually maybe afford you to do more flying at a lesser cost per hour. That's day one.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge. And yes, we do. I think you're the only speaker that I've got tapped for two different ones, and that's because both topics deserve their own session, their own time slot. And I appreciate you covering both of those. You're pretty well qualified to speak about basic med because you've been through the thing. You went third class, then second class, first class medical, and now you've reverted beyond first class. What current medical certification do you currently hold?
Basic med. Have since a major medical event in January of 2024. So I've got some ins and outs, and there are some do's and don'ts and some gotchas. So
Yes.
I'm going to bring
Yes.
those to light.
Well, I appreciate that because you have actual firsthand experience in all of it. It's critical information for pilots, especially us. A bulk of our conference attendees are age 55 and older, wanting to fly for many more years. And you're currently flying, still doing compassion flights. You've changed airplanes several times. You're still currently flying. And what's your latest airplane acquisition that you're in right now?
Well, I've got a little PA-46, a 1989, so a little Mirage. So she's my new to me 36-year-old three-legged girlfriend.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, I look forward to seeing you again down there. You and I have traveled together and done quite a few events together. It's always a pleasure. I have a few type ratings myself, not near what you have, but I have an appreciation for what it took you to get those because it was blood, sweat, and tears for me to get the ones that I hold. So it's an amazing deal. How about the opportunity for any attendee to walk up and talk with you and ask you questions off the record in private? How about your ability to visit with these people in any location and provide some counsel and some guidance just as a personal friend in attendance down here?
I will be open to anybody's conversation after my presentation, be it during our happy hour, either before or after. Of course, we may tell lies after the happy hour, but there'd be information included in that as well. And then there's the second presentation the next day that you have me for another hour for AQP and DMMS discussions as well, which is the hottest topic of things, obviously, and the focus of why we're all getting together in the first place, Dan.
Yep, it is. Well, I appreciate that a lot. This is just a teaser to let people know just a sampling of what we've got going on at the conference. And by the way, we're sold out as of right now. We have reached our quota. We are set, and we have reached our balance point on that thing. Our bills are paid, and we're totally good for the conference down there. Our early bird registration is over, and we are totally good. And I am looking forward to seeing you. How about the band on Friday night?
I'll be somebody in the audience watching. You don't want me playing in the band.
No, I don't want you playing in the band, but you're a musical appreciation person, and I want you to know that we have assembled the finest banquets on Friday night and Saturday night that you just will not believe, and you're going to enjoy the music. I promise you, it's going to be spectacular, especially Friday night. The deal we got put together is going to be totally fun.
I look forward to it, Dan. Thank you so much for having me on. I look forward to seeing everyone here at the beginning of our new year.
Beginning of the new year. Are we going to make 12.0? My last question for you, 12.0. We only have 5 remaining slots for 2025. Are we going to make it?
I don't want to be one of them, so I'm crossing my fingers that others hold that same view.
Yes.
I know it's going to be close, but wouldn't that be a wonderful set of news to present to the group early on in the year?
It sure would. I look at it every hour of every day. I'm watching that thing. I've only got 5 remaining. All right, Bouncing Bobby, good to talk to you, and I'm going to see you down in Orlando.
I look forward to it very much again. Thanks for having me on, Dan, and I'm so tickled to hear the good progress on the program.
Yep, it's all good. Thanks. Have a great day. We'll see you down there in Orlando.
Have a great night. So long.
That's just a sample of what we're going to have down there in Orlando. We're crammed full on people, stuff, music, presentations. I think it's going to be a fantastic time. I'm totally looking forward to doing that. Playing music on Friday night. We've got a band put together, a group that you will not, we're not really a band, but we've put together some of the finest musicians, including my friends Charity and Mike Gilly from down there in Orlando that's going to help us out down there. We got the sound system, the whole thing. We're only playing the music that you like. So it's dinner, music, the whole thing on Friday evening. You will know every single song that we're playing, and you're probably going to want to sing along with it. If you get a chance to make a request, we might even accommodate your request on Friday night because it's just us. It's not a stage and a concert. It's just us. We're playing music and having fun. It's going to be great. Let's talk about the accidents. I'm going to go back to this King Air B100 crash down in Florida. First of all, I am an opinion person. I am entitled to my opinion, and I'm going to characterize this with an opinion. This other YouTuber that I have seen is my absolute least favorite YouTuber, crying all the time on YouTube. He's monetized. He wants clicks, views, and advertisement. Here's his setup for this video.
A King Air carrying hurricane relief supplies suddenly accelerates from inside the clouds and dropped into a steep dive, suddenly accelerates from inside the clouds, suddenly accelerates from inside the clouds.
You know who I'm talking about, and I'm entitled to my opinion. This is one voice I cannot even stand to listen to.
Suddenly accelerates from inside the clouds.
He had a person on his show and interviewed about the King Air 100 crash down there. Keep in mind, I've got the probable cause on this listed on the DTSB website, the probable cause. This is a very inexperienced person who went quickly up the ranks through private instrument, multi-engine, and ends up going from single engine to a King Air 100. And then he has this person on the YouTube channel who admits that he gave him 35 to 40 hours of instruction in the King Air 100. Well, that's a red flag. Joe, if you gave somebody 35 or 40 hours of instruction in an airplane, that person doesn't deserve to be in that airplane. That's exactly like Jenny, the Tennessee fly girl, December 7th, 2 years ago. Jenny killed herself and her dad in an airplane. She had too much money. She was in an airplane she did not deserve to be in. When we allow people to fly airplanes that they can afford but should not be in, this is exactly what happens. This guy down here in Florida that killed himself and his daughter, I want you to know he should not have been in a King Air 100. He should not have been flying that. He should have had an actual King Air pilot with him. The entire thing. Here's the interview with Joe where he talks about how much flight training he gave this guy in Florida.
So when Alex wanted to buy a King Air, we helped him into this direction that he went and was to purchase this aircraft. And then we participated. I participated strongly in the training of him. He went to a King Air trainer that received the ground training and simulator training, and then he came to me for in the aircraft training. So I've got, I don't know, 35 or 40 hours, a lot of hours of training in the aircraft with Alex, and we also helped him in the renovation. So we bought the aircraft in not a very nice situation. In other words, it didn't have nice paint, interior avionics, and we assisted with that entire process by collaborating with vendors that we trust. And so this aircraft had the latest avionics, the latest radar on the aircraft, had a gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous interior that was installed, and the paint job was absolutely stellar. This was probably the nicest King Air B100 on the planet.
They showed a picture of the interior of this King Air. Now, I'm going to go on a limb here and tell you, I'm not even liking the entire scenario. This is a preacher taking donation money for a relief flight. He's got a King Air he buys, puts brand new paint, brand new interior, brand new avionics in it. When he goes to do a hurricane relief mission, doesn't even take the seats out. Now he's sitting, what little supplies they can fit, he's sitting them on top of the brand new leather seats inside the King Air and trying to fly a relief mission down to where the hurricane area is. This is not a relief flight. This is a media flight for the purpose of getting yourself on social media so people will send you money. You can't haul enough stuff in a King Air where you don't even take the seats out. Shouldn't have been that airplane. Should not have been that flight. Should not have been that guy. This is not even a relief flight. This was a relief flight for media purposes to try to get donations to be sent in to pay for that interior and Garmin panel. That's all this was. I'm sorry. I don't like any portion of it. This is another preacher out there begging for money on YouTube for the purposes of a relief flight. I don't see that a King Air 100 with this guy, where you don't even take the seats out, has any capability of helping in any way compared to the devastation and total needs of that area. And that's all it was. This was a runaway pitch trim of some kind. This airplane ended up, you can read the probable cause on DTSB right now. This airplane ended up in a runaway pitch trim condition, nose down. This guy did not have the experience or the training or the conditioning necessary to know what was happening and go for the circuit breaker and release and get this thing undone before it drove him straight to the ground. On a King Air, especially this particular King Air at that speed, if this thing drives to full nose down, you do not have enough muscle to overpower it. You cannot. He was heard grunting on the ATC tape. He was heard grunting and exclaiming, trying to pull against that elevator pitch trim. The pitch trim, the elevator servo, the trim tab on this particular airplane is extremely powerful, especially at that speed. If it drives to full nose down, you plus gorilla in the right seat don't have enough manpower and muscle to overcome it. You're going to go straight down. He did not have a chance. He never got the circuit breaker pulled. He never knew what happened, and he did not have the requisite training and conditioning to know what was going on and do the proper response instantly in the time of crisis. He did not, and that's all that happened. You can read about that. The probable cause and the recommendation is on the DTSB website right now. Real quick, the next one we're going to talk about is this 172 down Lake Pontchartrain. I put a recommendation here for all flight schools and students here. Remember that VFR, overnight, black terrain, dark water, is IMC. You can't see. This is exactly what happened here. There's even a notation on the sectional down here that tells you in the area of this water over this lake, the horizon that I've flown over this, it is extremely disconcerting, and you have got to get hardcore on the instruments. You got to get hardcore on those gauges. Don't even think about looking outside. I recommend both occupants put on a pair of foggles. If that's the situation you're on, yes, it's illegal for both people to wear foggles. It's an emergency. You can't see. You're about to lose outside reference. You're about to lose situational awareness. Put on a pair of foggles. Concentrate on that ADI, keep wings level, and fly until you get over lights where things are making more sense. Wear a pair of foggles. It will absolutely save your life in this particular situation. I had a chance to ferry a Citation this week, a near 0-0 takeoff to a marginal low-vis landing at a location. I shot this video in flight to emphasize what I'm about to do. I'm about to descend down into very, very low-vis conditions. I'm telling myself, I'm going to get on the gauges here. I'm staying on the gauges. I am not going to look outside this airplane until stuff makes a lot of sense, and then I'll transition to all outside. I'm single pilot in a jet. I'm all inside, and I know it. I'm about to descend down into it. Here's the video. This is only 48 hours old.
May Papa Charlie maintain 180 knots until SAM, contact tower 120.9.
Another fine mess I've got myself into. Ferrying the Citation today.
At 49,
I'm about to descend down into the goo to shoot an approach. I just made a very low vis takeoff. Now I got to shoot a low vis approach to get this thing in here. Leveling now at 4,000 feet. All pilots are.
25, cross baby at or about 3,000 feet straight in.
I'm going to hook it up and let it do it. I'm in the clear right now, but as soon as I descend, I'm going to be in the goo. And I'm going to get on these gauges hardcore. I got to get on the gauges and watch. I'm not going to look outside and be distracted by what's going by my windscreen on the outside. This is hardcore IMC down to nothing. I'm going to take it down to 200 LPV. I'm alone in the jet, and here's what's going to happen. The next accident is this Grumman AA-1A. Tragic situation. This guy gave a ride to his father-in-law out in New Mexico. This is a high-density altitude, loss of speed awareness. Somehow over the mountains got that airplane up too high. Probably Box Canyon, probably high-density altitude, probably something. Somehow it stalled. It hit hard and it exploded. They went missing. Took them a day to even find the wreckage. Obviously no survivors. This is the wrong airplane in the wrong location at the wrong altitude in the wrong box themselves in, and there's no getting out of this. Don't go fly over these places in these little tiny piece of tin garbage, little airplanes with no horsepower. You can't do it, and you're going to fly yourself into a situation that you cannot get out of, and we can't get these two guys back. The next one is from Friday. This is the Hughes 369D helicopter. It's Powerline Patrol. My beef on this is that they're using the Hughes 369. That's a single engine turbine helicopter. They're relying on the power plant. Ain't no way you'd catch me hanging from one of these helicopters that only has one power plant when they could be using an airplane that has two engines in case of an engine failure. I don't know yet if this was an engine failure or if they just simply struck something. My suspicion is, based on the people I talked to out there, the helicopter did hit something before it crashed, but that's not confirmed yet. My beef is that these contractors are not spending the money to put a helicopter online that has two engines. I want you to watch this video. This is the stuff that these guys are doing in a turbine helicopter with only one engine. If this engine fails while you got this guy hanging from your rope, everybody's dead. Check out this video. If that doesn't just scare the willies out of you, I don't know what will. You're sending contractors out there to Hughes 369. It's a turbine helicopter with only one engine, and you're hovering around 50 to 150 feet around power lines, slinging human beings around. Yes, they do it, and yes, it has worked. Yes, it can work right up to the point where it doesn't work, and then everybody's dead. Pay the extra money. Only contract with turbine helicopters that have two engines is what you've got to do. I think that ought to be the absolute minimum. All right, that's it for tonight. The interview is next, the boxing match. I want you to score this in the live chat here. I want you to watch this. Very nice guy here, and once again, I appreciate him. The concept is DMMS versus AOA, and he wrote this article. DMMS is for dimwits. I want you to know that everything that this guy said is valid. AOA is a great concept. We simply don't have it. We can't afford it. Pilots don't want to buy it. They don't want to install it. What we do have currently today for free, it's already there. It's an airspeed indicator. It's the same concept that the airlines use. I don't care which Airbus or Boeing you're using. We're still using indicated airspeed indicator, primary for pitch, primary for speed, reference on approach, on min maneuvering. Yes, they all have AOA. Yes, they have AOA inputs and all that kind of stuff. Primary for pitch on takeoff in any Airbus or Boeing or any airline equipment is always indicated airspeed. That's all we've got. That's all we will ever have. It's just that on the airline equipment, it's already bugged, briefed, and defined for you. The DMMS is already there. The VREF is already there. It's all set by computer, but we can do the same thing in general aviation. For 2025, this is going to be my huge bandwagon is DMMS. If we could fix our DMMS fatals alone for 2026, we would cut the general aviation fatal accident rate almost in half. Half of us are killing ourselves. Day VFR flying around, stalling and spinning in the traffic pattern due to loss of speed awareness. That's all it is. We have got to increase our awareness, our promotion of the DMMS concept. Here it is. I want you to score it. Leave me a comment. Let me know in the live chat who's winning. I want you to understand what this guy is saying versus what I'm saying. This is going to be it for 2026. You are not going to get me to shut up about DMMS in 2026. We have got to have it. Our goal for next year is 11.0. We can do it if we will incorporate and get the word out there. Bug, brief, fly, and honor. DMMS for every airplane. Every airplane. You're either a DMMS airplane or a VREF airplane. Here's a picture of the traffic pattern. You're either a DMMS airplane or you're a VREF airplane. Here's my interview with Jim. Well, here's something interesting. I got a hater off of YouTube agreed to go on a Zoom call with me. It's Jim Allen. How are you today, Jim?
I'm doing well.
Yes,
And
sir. I
yourself?
appreciate that. You and I entered a little debate on the comment section of one of my YouTubes. Tell me what the topic was. Two broad concepts. What is it that we were debating?
Okay, so the video itself was actually a review of the to-date 2025 accident statistics, and it was
Yes.
up through November, so you're probably looking to October-ish numbers, I'm going to assume.
Yes.
However, in there, you said, hey, you've got to be using the DIMS, the defined minimum maneuvering speed. You got to.
Yes.
And my comment was, well, if you use AOA, you don't need it. And yes, we did get into a little bit of a confrontational debate in the comment section.
Perfect. Perfect.
but-
I appreciate you debating because it makes topic for conversation. And I more importantly appreciate you willing to jump on a Zoom with Dan Gryder and hold it out there for the whole world to say. But your initial comment was, and I'll quote, if you use AOA, you don't need DMMS is what caused me to get up out of my seat. What did Jim Allen just say? If you use AOA, you don't need DMMS. Are you still sticking with that statement?
So in terms of the statement, yes, I will stick with it. However, in fairness to the audience listening, you and I had a conversation on a phone call yesterday.
Yes.
And you don't get the YouTube algorithm-induced confrontation there. And I think that both of us were actually very, very quickly in resonance.
Yes.
So
Tell me what caused us to come into reference. We very quickly, I asked you one question. In fact, I asked you a question in the comments section. Okay, send me the money for an AOA for my Cessna 1. Go ahead, send me one and I'll use it. Now where are we at?
So in your phone call, you said, okay, but what can we use immediately? And I'm like, yeah, underline that word, immediately.
Yes.
So that is, so the FAA has recently, you have the 2024 SIAB. You also had a letter back in 2014, which said adding angle attack is considered a minor alteration. You don't have to go through any the approval process. They basically said, hey, we know that we're highly regulatory and we demand a lot of approval process. If it comes to putting AOA into your plane and it's not integrated into anything else, flush that, put it in. But you're right, there is a cost, especially if you're flying certified planes, because you still got to get a mechanic to do it.
Yes. So I'm looking for an immediate solution. I'm going to give you credit for recognizing AOA is a valid concept. I use it in jets. I use it in numerous other applications. AOA, I've got several airplanes that I fly where I rely on AOA, and it's a huge aid for your average rank and file general aviation piston single engine guy who doesn't want to buy a new set of tires for his airplane. Do you think we're going to get him to spend $4,000 on an AOA system for his 172? I don't think we are. What is it that we could do immediately today that's fast, cheap, and easy that would help our statistics? What is it in lieu of AOA and electronics? What could we do today to help that guy that's free?
So I want to get back to that question in a second. I want to touch the $4,000. So you can get AOA systems that are significantly less, order of magnitude less. And some of them do not need electronics. I will caveat that the better systems are going to integrate with electronics. So I fly an RV6 here at home. It's on the line in Concord. It'd be nice if we were in a hangar, but hangars are pretty pricey around here. And a few years ago, I put in a lift reserve AOA, which is completely pneumatic.
Right.
Basically, it is a pressure differential system. And that's important to know with the AOAs. We're getting a little interruption here, visitors.
Oh, there you go.
1, 2. So this one, it's basically doing a comparison between an offset. So it has one port that is essentially the pitot port.
Yes.
And one
Jim, I I got to stop and rein you in here because we're on YouTube. I got to get back to the basic question. My
Okay.
challenge today is corralling Jim Allen.
Yep.
I'm looking for a solution. I know that there are systems out there. I know you can buy it. I know they might be less than $4,000. The point is, people aren't buying them. I rarely see a GA airplane with a system like you have in there. What could we do today to help the guy that's about to go fly this afternoon? What could we do that's fast, cheap, and easy? It's the same system that the airlines use. Airlines don't rely on AOA. They rely on their airspeed indicator. Primary for pitch is airspeed indicator.
Nope, that's actually false. So your airlines, the pilots are using airspeed indicator because that's what they've been trained to their whole span of training. However, especially now, particularly with the newer Airbuses, Boeing getting there some now, your newer airlines are fly-by-wire. And so fly-by-wire, they're actually, the flight control computers are actually using AOA in the lower kinetic energy band.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not talking about what the computers are doing to control the airplane. In the Airbus, that may be true, but the pilots are still bugging and briefing and flying an airspeed indicator. They have an airspeed tape. The computer in the Airbus is AOA generating lift. It's telling them what the airplane can and cannot do, but the pilots are still flying by the AOA, by the airspeed tape. The speeds are bugged for each flap setting. And what airline, Jim, tell me what airline you flew for.
So I've never flown for an airline.
Okay, there's where we are.
But there's
airline
a problem
pilots,
here. Here's a problem here, though.
Airline pilots use the airspeed tape for takeoff and landing. The speeds are bugged.
Yes.
We do have some AOA inputs that are protection envelope things, but we're still relying. Your primary for pitch is still the airspeed indicator, and you don't know because you've never been at an airline, Jim.
So just because the airlines do it does not mean it's the best way to do it. All right.
Okay, I'm asking you for your answer.
All right.
What's the best way today?
What I want to get at, back to the original question, what can you do?
Yes.
Slow flight. When we look at slow flight, we do our turns when we're teaching in the civilian world. We do our turns constant airspeed. I would argue you should teach constant angle of attack turns in slow flight, and you can do this without an AOA gauge to show you the information.
Yes.
So if you do a constant AOA turn, then you preserve your margins throughout. Is there a way, I'm not sure on this device, to do a screen share?
No, that's okay. And I'm up at the end of our envelope for our time because our YouTube audience is very. What I'm getting at here, Jim, is that we have a problem. In America, 42% of our general aviation fatals are day VFR. They're loss of speed awareness. We are losing people in airplanes every day. Loss of speed awareness, loss of energy awareness. Base to final, they're uncoordinated. They overshoot. They pull the nose up. They flew base.
You pull the nose up. All right. So if you're learning to do constant AOA turns, you don't put any backstick in your turns. You control the VVI with power, which somebody might not be able to do because they've got such a long spool up time and inertia in the compressors. But the audience here, we're assuming piston engine aircraft, the power response is pretty quick. So you control the VVI with power. As you go into the turn, you give it a little power and you let the speed creep up. You let the trim, and it's not exact as a prop wash, but you let the trim hold that AOA. So you're doing a constant AOA turn.
Jim, my problem here today is your level of intelligence is so superior to mine and everybody else's. I'm not even in the same room with you. Your level of intelligence exceeds all of us combined put together. We don't have that many brain cells among us. We need something simpler. Seventh grade was my senior year. Seriously.
This is
my senior year. I want something so simple that I can follow a guideline and know that if I don't bust the speed I'm most likely going to be okay. It's a min maneuvering speed. I know downwind base to final, I've got a 30% buffer. If I'll honor this airspeed, yes, there are conditions where something could be slightly different, but we're losing 42% of our GA airplanes every day. Day VFR, loss of speed awareness, loss of energy awareness. I don't care what the concepts are. Everything that you're saying is valid. But you're a PhD and your IQ is 10 times mine. I'm never going to be able to figure out what you're even talking about. I want one simple line on an airspeed indicator that everybody can do for free, cheap, easy, install it instantly, and that's our reminder. There's your min maneuvering speed. Why would we not do that?
So this gets into a little bit of a fairness to the audience. We had that phone call yesterday. We had a chat before here. This gets into the here we're kind of debating. You can do both. You can do constant AOA turns and apply the DIMs.
I think we should apply the DIMs and let people do whatever additional else they want to. Additional AOA training is fine. Additional AOA gizmos is fine. But for today, I got to stop the bleeding. How can I stop the bleeding instantly with one fine line, a huge reminder on your airspeed indicator?
You're assuming that line is gonna stop it.
It is.
But
it's going to stop it.
Folks get busy. They're getting tax saturated. Are they actually looking in and scanning if they're getting into those turns?
Do you have a DMMS marked?
And they're wrapping up.
Do you have a DMMS marked on your RV6? Do you have one marked on there?
No, because I have my AOA gauge.
Okay, I want you to mark it on your airspeed indicator.
No, I don't even look at the airspeed in landing.
Okay, well, you're an exceptional case. My message is this debate comes up all the time. I'm not anti-AOA. We just don't have the brain cells or the money or the tech to go put it in every airplane for today.
So I will caveat, if you have it, it's the same idea. There's that one line, that's my AOA. Ideally in a gauge set, most displays unfortunately are not gauges. Mine fortunately is 3 o'clock AOA for a properly set gauge. That is your line. So when you do have those, you do have that line. Indexers, it's the donut. Unfortunately, the colors aren't standardized, so I don't know if you have a blue donut, a green donut, an amber donut. That's what the Navy uses, is an amber donut.
Yes, and I think the best solution for today is I have a copy of your Visa card. I'm going to put it on the screen here. Everyone order an AOA and put it on Jim Allen's credit card. So because let's do it. I'm going to let them put their AOAs from Aircraft Spruce.
So again, you can still do the constant AOA turn. It actually is pretty simple. You can practice it in slow flight.
Yes, you can.
Use power to control the VVI and don't add any backstick pressure. Yes, you will gain a couple knots. Who cares? And remember, pull the power out as you roll out, and you'll lose a couple.
Jim, I've been a CFI for 42 years. I've never taught that. I've never had a student learn it. I've never experimented. Not that it's not a valid concept.
You want to know who learns it? Every single naval aviator learns it. Every single aviator.
Jim, we are not naval aviators,
but
we're rank and file potato farmers with a 172. That's who we are.
Guess what?
Bring it down to our level and give us something that we can use.
From us, from the general population. They're us.
we got to have it. We got to have something. And that's all the time I got for today. We'll do part 2 and part 3. I can assure you that Jim Allen and I are best friends, and I appreciate Jim Allen even entering this debate on YouTube. All came from a comment. We don't hate each other. We're gonna debate this, and we're gonna figure out that's what YouTube is for. This is conversation. DMMS to me is an extremely fast, cheap, easy way to monitor your energy and be reminded on 80% of these airplanes flying around here with a dinosaur gauge airspeed indicator. Put it on your airspeed indicator. That is your minimum, no matter what. You're either a DMMS airplane or you're a VREF airplane, one of the two. If everybody would do that, our GA fatals would virtually dry up and go away. That's all we need to do. Beyond that, you can go take training from Jim. You can go to Yale or Harvard and install an AOA and learn about these advanced things. That's not possible for me, Jim. I'm trying to explain to you how stupid I am. I am so stupid that I got it's down to one line: define minimum maneuvering speed. I'm going to keep myself safe because I'm honoring that. And I appreciate your level of education and some of the things that you know, which are obviously valid, no doubt about it. We, as a cross section, are probably not capable or able to afford those gizmos or understand those concepts. We got to have an immediate solution for this today, Jim, an immediate one.
Well, like I said, you could immediately be applying the constant AOA terms. No instrumentation required. They actually are easy to do. It doesn't. There's no head work to it. You just a don't pull back on the stick as you turn. Use power to compensate for the VVI.
There you go. All right, we're going to let the audience decide who won this debate, just like the presidential debates. Vote for Dan or vote for Jim. You get to vote. Tell me who won this debate. Tell me what you think of AOA versus DMMS, and both of you will get to read it in the comments. Is that fair?
All right.
Let's do it. All right. Thanks again, Jim. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll see you.
All right. That's it for tonight. I hope you appreciate that interview with my friend Jim. I'm going to get this video gone and up and on the air here for tonight. I hope you'll come and see us December 14th. That's Friday from noon to 3 p.m. Come and visit me and Dylan. Free food, free drinks, free lemonade, free hats. I don't have anything to sell, but I'd love to get my picture taken with you at Signature Aviation, Raleigh-Durham on Friday. We'll be there for a few hours. Love to see you. I'm going to get this video up and on the air for my tiny little itty-bitty fledgling YouTube channel, Dan Gryder. Probable cause.
I strongly want, I want to.
Listen, I know we're all waiting with bated breath for the NTSB report to come out. I try all the time to make sense of what happened, and you can't. We know he was in a right seat. We know, the airplane came short after an engine power loss. We don't know why. We think had they been 15, 20 feet higher, he would have hit the flat grass, and he'd been in this job today talking to you again, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably one of those really just wrong place, wrong time, terrible luck. Nothing that the pilot or Richard was in the right seat. We don't even know if he was manipulating the controls.